Parshas Vaeira, Shiur number 2. L'zeichen Ishmas B'chil Mitzim V'R'dayv and Mingobas Reb Yisrael. L'chein Emar Livnei Yisrael Ani Hashem. Go tell Klal Yisrael Ani Hashem, I am Hashem. I created the world. V'yitzesi eschem mitachas tzivlois Mitzrayim. V'yitzesi is the first lashon geula. I will take you out. V'hitzalti eschem me'avedasam. I will save you from their work. That's 2. V'ga'alti eschem. 3. Mizrayin utuya. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm. Uvishvatim GEDOLIM, and with major punishments to Mitzrayim. But lakachti eschem, number 4, I will take you, li la'am, to be my nation, and v'yisi lachem, and I will be for you, le'leikim, a God, v'yodatem, and you will know, ki ani Hashem Elokeichem, that I am Hashem Elokeichem. It started off the pasuk, tell b'nei Yisrael ani Hashem, and at the end it says, I will be v'yisi lachem le'leikim, and you will know that I am both. Because there's 2 types of relationships. There's a Hashem, He created the world, and that is the same. He is the creator for all of mankind and animals and grass. Everything was created by Hashem. Elokeichem means your God. It's a prezenlich, a personal relationship that He has with us. Yesh levar haktomas omer lechein emor livnei Yisrael ani Hashem. We have to understand, what is this introduction to the Daled Lashonis of Geula, right? There was a Daled Lashonis, 4 languages, 4 different Lashon expressions of Geula. V'yitzesi, v'hitzalti, v'ga'alti, v'lakachti. Before that, L'chein emor livnei Yisrael ani Hashem. It sounds like an opening. Chazal omru al zeh, Chazal say, ein lochen elu lashon shvua, lochen, ein lochen elu lashon shvua. Chazal say that lochen is a shvua. B'tzorach bia l'shem ma nidrash zayis, it should have just said, I'm going to 4 lashon of geula. Instead it says lachein, which is lashon of shvua. I swear to tell Bnei Yisrael, Ani Hashem. Why is this necessary? The answer is so beautiful, and it's going to teach us about our relationship with Hashem in our days. B'yesh levar inyan d'isa b'chazal b'shosha bo Moshe v'amar Yisrael b'chaydesh hazeh atem negolim. Chazal tell us that Moshe Rabbeinu went ahead and he told them, in this month you are going to be redeemed. Can you imagine if we would have our Mashiach, our Redeemer, would come and say, this is the month. And you would expect a response to be, wow, amazing, this is what we're waiting for 210 years. But that's not what happened. Amalei, they told Moshe Rabbeinu, Amalei, they said, hey chanu nagalim, how could we be redeemed? It can't be. The whole Eretz Mitzrayim was full of our avodah zarah. We were bowing down to idols. Not only that, the Medrash says that we didn't want to go daven in their shuls where they do avodah zarah, so we opened up like getchke shtiblach. We had our own shtiblach. So here on the one hand we were enslaved, so we had no money, we had no time, we had no energy, but you had enough money, time, and energy to build a shtibel. We had our own minyanim. I guess probably the Goyim davened at 7, and we wanted to have 9, 9:15, 10, 10:15, wanted to have a minyan factory. Probably our getchke shtibel had coffee and cake, the chassidim were going past, till 10, 12, 1 o'clock. They went to work, they came back in the middle of the day, walking with the thing, So we didn't even daven in their shul, so to speak. We opened our own getchke shtiblach. Can you imagine? So we were messed up in such a bad way that when Moshe Rabbeinu goes ahead and says, guess what, guys, you're out of here. This is the month we're going to be redeemed. Instead of accepting that, we couldn't believe it. Not that we didn't believe in Hashem. Not that we didn't believe in Moshe Rabbeinu. We didn't believe in ourselves. What? Hey, chanu nagalim. How could we be redeemed? We are not worthy. Amar lahem, Moshe Rabbeinu answered them, Hoyel v'chavetz b'geulaschem, because Hashem wants to redeem you, Einoi mabit b'avodah zarah shalachem, He's not looking at your avodah zarah. What do you mean? I have this whole rap sheet. No, the president wants to pardon you. But why does he want to pardon me? I did this and this and this and this and this. Since the president wants to pardon you, He's not looking at that. This is very important, because we have to understand that we did not get redeemed from Mitzrayim because we deserved it. Moshe Rabbeinu should have said, if I was Moshe, this is the month that we're going to be redeemed. Start doing tshuva. Mashiach is coming. Start doing tshuva. He didn't demand them to do tshuva. There was no tshuva. We didn't do tshuva. We were redeemed without tshuva. And when we said, what do you mean? Why does he want us? Because he wants you. And because he wants you, the heart wants, doesn't care about your deficiencies. Doesn't care about how messed up you are and how you spit at him in the face. It's like a kid who's stealing money from his father and abusing the credit card, stealing the car. And he ends up in jail. And the father arranges for him to get on bail. And he says, but why does my father want me? I did all these things. Since your father wants you, he doesn't care. He sees the real you, the essence. He's in love with you. Uve medrash reisha parsha, in the medrash in the beginning of the parsha, it says, V'daber Elokim al Moshe. V'yomer love, ani Hashem. Elokim al ha-Mitzrayim, ani Hashem al Yisrael. Like we spoke about many times, Hashem has different names. Hashem is one name, and Elokim is another name. Hashem is Midas HaRachamim, and Elokim is Midas Hadin. So there are different ways that they're used. So the Medrash says, V'daber Elokim al Moshe. Elokim, he was talking to Moshe that you should know that Vayomer love, and he told him, Ani Hashem. That is for Klal Yisrael, which is Midah Rachamim. Elokim al ha-Mitzrayim. Okay? Dahainu sheklape ha-Mitzrayim tachol Midas Hadin. V'ilu al Yisrael ani havaya b'chesed u'v'rachamim. Klape, the way that I'm going to deal with the Mitzrayim, who are not my children, I'm going to deal with them with Midas Hadin. But you, my children, I'm going to deal with Midas HaRachamim, b'chesed u'v'rachamim, with chesed, kindness, and mercy. V'abir b'zeh, degulas Mitzrayim, hari hoysa b'koyach ha'emunah. We know, and we all know, and listen to this, how it's different than we thought it was, but we all know that b'schus emunah negalo aviseinu miMitzrayim, the Mechilta says in Mishalach, that we were redeemed in the schus of emunah, of faith. Uv'schus emunah, asidin lihigoel, and it's in the schus of, in the merit of our faith, we will be redeemed in the future. It says, Vayamei Na'am, they believed. That was the emunah, and in that schus of that emunah, they got out of Mitzrayim. But in emunah, there's two types of emunah. Uva emunah yesh beis inyanim. Listen carefully. Kamoisha bi'arnu, like he said in many places, he says this in Shavuos, he says this in many different places. He explains the Maimer HaKosav, the Pasuk says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Mitzvahs emunah, to believe in Hashem, comes from the words where Hashem told us by Har Sinai, the first words that came, we heard directly from Hashem actually, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Says the Nesiv Shalom, this is really two statements. It's not one statement. I am Hashem, your God. It's two statements. It's Anochi Hashem and Anochi Elokecha. Anochi Hashem, I am Hashem is Yud Kei Vav Kei. How do you say create? Mahava, Mem Hei Vav Hei. That's Yud Kei Vav Kei is explaining that I am the one who created the world. Shaboirei Yisparach Uboirei Umaneg L'chol Abruim. I am God, I created everything. This is what happened. Until Har Sinai, Hashem never introduced himself. There was a world. Nobody knew who's in charge. Avraham Avinu kind of figured out that there's a God. Hashem even spoke to him, but there was no announcement. Over here by Har Sinai, the whole Klal Yisrael was there, a big, big crowd, and all of a sudden, tension, Hashem introduces himself with the words, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. So the first thing is Anochi Hashem. I want you to know, I am the creator. I created heaven and earth. I am here. I am there. I am truly everywhere. I'm up. I'm down. Okay? And this was Hashem's introduction. But that connection of I created everything is equal with us, monkeys, grass, cows, everything. Stars. I created everything. And there's no special connection to us as the Jewish people. But then he said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Your specific God. This is a new thing. This is explaining and expressing that he has a separate relationship with us. And only the people that were around the mountain that he was talking to. Not with the rest of the world. We are different. Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Anochi Elokecha means Elokim Shelcha. Shebahavasai, with his love, Bachar Banu, he chose us, Liois Amoy, to be his nation. V'hu Elokeinu, and he is our God. Uv'chirazu einena tlui b'shum tanoim. And this choice that Hashem decided that we are His people is not talui in anything. It's unconditional, unbreakable. That Hashem is our God, and it's different than everybody else's. And with this, he answers the kasha of the Rishonim. The Rishonim ask a beautiful question. When Hashem revealed Himself to us, I am Hashem Elokecha who took you out of Mitzrayim. That's the way you're introducing yourself for the first time to the whole world. Why didn't it say, I am Hashem Elokecha who created the world? You're picking one thing that just happened recently? So the answer is that Hashem was trying to explain not the Anochi Hashem part. On the Hashem that I created the world, He would have said, Anochi Hashem Asher barasi ha'olam. But that doesn't need any explanation. He was explaining the Elokecha. He was giving a message to us around that mountain because He wanted to establish His relationship with us so that way us today in our days should understand the basis of our relationship with the Creator. Anochi Hashem Elokecha asher hotzeisicha me'eretz Mitzrayim. Yeah, I know where you were. I'm not forgetting your past. Shebe Mitzrayim hayisa mishukam emem teshari tumah. I know you in Mitzrayim, you were immersed in the 49th level of tumah. You were ovdei avodah zara, hefeiru bris milah. We stopped doing bris milah on our children. V'sham kara eschem HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'ni b'chayr Yisrael. This is one of the most powerful things that we have to know. The Parshas starts off, go to Paroi and tell him, do you know who you're messing with? B'ni b'chayr Yisrael. The Medrash says that b'chayr is a lashon of chiba, a lashon of love. You love, there's an extra love in the word b'chayr. B'ni b'chayr Yisrael. This is my firstborn Yisrael. And actually, we were not created first. We're not the b'chayr. Angels were created before us. And yet we are the b'chayr. The Medrash says, Amar Reb Levi, Hashem has two types of children. Bani matem l'Hashem Elokeichem, b'ni b'chayr Yisrael. We are called children of Hashem, but there's another child of Hashem, b'nei Elokim. These are referring to the angels. The angels are also used a lashon of banim. And we don't know, says the Medrash, which one does Hashem love more? Does Hashem love His heavenly angels more? Or does He love Klal Yisrael more? What? What a question. Angels never mess up. They come home with 100. They never mechutzif. They never do anything wrong. Klal Yisrael, you know how much wrong we did? Slach lanu, all the time. Ashamnu, baganu, gazalnu, al chet, churban bayis rishon, churban bayis sheni, sinas chinam, ovdei avodah zara, murder, everything. Look at Tanakh, look at Klal Yisrael, all the Aveiros that we do. And the Medrash is not sure. Who does Hashem love more? Really? Who do you love more? The kid who always comes home who's an angel? Or the one who's stealing your car and doing drugs and causing you embarrassment? Hashem calls us Am Kshei Orev, stiff-necked people. And we cause so much grief to Him. Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Tshuva, all the time we're messing up, spitting in His face, using the energy and the blessings He gives us to spit in His face and to sin against His direct command. Like I once saw a big billboard somewhere, and it said, "Thou shalt not," whatever, and it said, which word didn't you understand? He told us, I don't want you to do this and this, and we do it anyway. So much corruption and sin and dysfunction in human beings, and yet the Medrash says, I don't know, which one does Hashem love more? You know what the Medrash answers? Because it says, B'ni b'chayr Yisrael, Atem chavivim olai yoser mimalachi hasharis. Hashem loves us with all of our dysfunction more than heavenly angels. We are called banim atem l'Hashem Elokeichem. They're also called banim, but b'ni b'chayr Yisrael shows that we are more beloved than heavenly angels. So let's think about this. Where were we called? When did we get that title, b'ni b'chayr Yisrael? I would say on our highest level. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov probably got that title. Or maybe on the top of, by Maimon Har Sinai, when Paskuzu Amosam, when we were purified and we were on the highest level humanly possible. B'ni b'chayr Yisrael. That's what I would have imagined. No. We got the title when we were on the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And Hashem specifically went to us in that situation to show us that we should know that it's unconditional and unbreakable. And even when you're on the bottom of the world and you're oiv de avodah zara, you're spitting in my face, you're saying you don't control the world, you're an atheist, you don't believe in my power, you don't believe in me, you're not following my direction, you're not keeping Torah mitzvahs, I want you to know I love you more than heavenly angels. Sham kara eschem HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'ni b'chayr Yisrael. Over there in that situation is when Hashem said, I love you more than heavenly angels. Ki anochi elekecha b'chol hamatzavim. Because I am your God in all matzavim. In any situation you ever will find yourself. That's what it was talking about, Vayamei Na'am, and they believed. What did they believe in Hashem? That's Pashut Pshat. Pashut Pshat is they believed in Hashem. No, he says, they believed in themselves. Of course, they always knew that, Maminim b'nei Maminim, they always knew there's a God. They just didn't think that they are worthy. So Moshe Rabbeinu tells them, no, Ki pakad Hashem es b'nei Yisrael, it's time for you to go out. They said, but what do you mean? Why, we don't deserve it. We're full of terrible Aveiras. He says, no, because Hashem loves you and wants you, He's not looking. Vayamei Na'am, and they believed. They believed what? They believed that it's possible that God actually loves me, that Hashem loves me in all my sin and dysfunction. That was the schus amuna negalo avosenu mitzrayim, and that is going to be the schus that we are going to be redeemed in the future. Not belief in Hashem. Of course we believe in Hashem, but believing that Hashem cares and loves me. Shehesigu, they were masik, they comprehended hamadrega hashniya shel amuna. They comprehended the second part of Emunah. The first part is Anechi Hashem, that there's a God who created the world. That they always believed. But now they believed in the Anechi Elekecha. It was a pledge from Hashem by Maimed Har Sinai that don't think you need to be on Har Sinai, sitting in learning, only then I am your God. No. Elekecha b'chol hamatzavim, even if you fall, which you will. And I'm still going to be your God. And that's what they believed. Shesigu hamadrega hashniya shel emunah she'anechi elikecha. Hamadrega harishayna, the first level of emunah, shehi etzem hu emunah b'Hashem yisbarach, which is the actual essence and belief that there is a God who created the world. Kvar hoysa lahem me'az. They already had that. Shisrael maminim b'nei maminim heim. It's a Befer Shem BD song. Maminim b'nei maminim. And that belief in God was mushrish, was ingrained, instilled in their being all the years. From Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, the Shvatim, they knew it. They knew that God created the world, but they didn't think that God created about them. They didn't believe that in their low level, their low broken spiritual level with so much chet, so much sin, that they are re'uyim legula, they are fit to be redeemed. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu was worried about when he said, they're not going to believe me. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, go tell them, it's time to get out. And he says, they're not going to believe me. Pashut Pshat is, they're not going to believe me. What is Pashut Pshat? They're not going to believe me that there's a God. Or they're not going to believe me that you came to me. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to go ahead and he's going to come to the people. He's going to gather them, and he's going to say, everybody listen up, listen up, listen up. All the Zakanim are going to come, and the women, the children, everybody's going to come. He's going to stand on the big stone, and he's going to say, you're not going to believe what happened to me today. I was shepherding in the heat, and all of a sudden there was a bush, and it was burning, but it wasn't getting consumed. Uncomfortable looks in the crowd. And then a voice came out from there and started talking to me. The women are sheltering the children. Okay, kids, this is not looking good. It seems like he has heat stroke, or I don't know what's he smoking. You're not going to believe this story. And it was Hashem. And you know what he told me? He said, I'm going to redeem you from Mitzrayim. They're going to say, what? Not us. Sounds far-fetched? No. Imagine that Mashiach comes, Eliyahu Hanavi comes, pulls up on Friday night in Manhattan at a club. He parks his donkey in valet parking. And he comes into the club and he gathers everybody. Stop the music. All the Jews, whoever's here, Nebuch, Rachmanu Litzlan, come here. And there's some Jewish kids there, or whoever, from Ish, come from backgrounds. They're there smoking, and he says, I want to tell you, I'm going to save you. Hashem wants to redeem you. I'm coming here to tell you that Hashem is bringing Mashiach. They're going to say, yo, dude, you're looking for Williamsburg. You're looking for a shtibel. You're looking for a shul. What are you doing here in Manhattan in the clubs? They're not looking for us. They're not going to believe you. They're not going to believe what? In God? They believe in Hashem. They believe in Hashem. Push comes to shove. Everybody believes in Hashem. It's mushrish in our bones. There's so many stories of people who said they don't believe, and then when the Nazis came in, they died al-Kiddush Hashem. Many, many stories. We believe in God. We just don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that Hashem would want to redeem us. And so this Eliyahu Hanavi on a Chamar says, no, you don't understand. Hashem is going to do miracles. He's going to change the whole world for you, and He cares about you. Chafetz l'gul aschem. They're going to say, no way, impossible. Here with the natzniistic of clothing and smoking on Shabbos and breaking that, God is not going to, He doesn't care about me. It's impossible. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu said. I think I'm going to go tell them that you want to redeem them. They have such a low self-esteem because of their sin. They're going to say, impossible. They're not going to believe me. And that's what happened. They said, hey, Chanu Nugalim. Eretz Mitzrayim is Malaya Betenufe Avodah Zarah Shalanu, which is what the kids would say today, what people would say today. How could Hashem want us? We're full of sin. But He convinced them, and then it says, Vayamei Na'am, they believed. And that was the Schus Emunah, Negalo Avisenu. The Schus Emunah, not that Hashem created the world, they had that. In the Shniya, in the second part, Madrega Hashniya, to believe in themselves. Such beautiful words. They weren't going to believe that in their low spiritual state, that they are fit to be redeemed. You're going to pull me out of jail? You're going to do all these change of the nature of the Marechas HaTeva, Dam, Tzvardei, Akinim, Kriyas Yamsuf, all these miracles you can do for me? Impossible. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu was scared when he told Hashem, they're not going to believe me. Not that they're not going to believe that Hashem exists. Not that they're not going to believe that Hashem told it to Moshe. They're going to say, could be He told it to you, but it can't be. The storyline, something's missing. Because we are not fitting for Geula. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu told him, no, I know that you're not doing the right thing. And Hashem knows it too. And He's saying He doesn't care. Because He loves you. The you under the pain. He knows that you were in 210 years of not ideal situation. He knows you went through abuse. He knows you went through trauma. He knows that you're not the real you because of your pain of being a slave or enslaved or addicted or in all kinds of things that are controlling you. He loves the you that you are underneath all the shmutz. And He wants you. And really it should be l'chayra, it should be shver, it should be hard to understand. Really it should be a question. What do you mean, you go ahead and you spit in Hashem's face and you say, this fire hydrant controls the word. Oh, please, fire hydrant, please save me. That's what they were doing. They were bowing to Avodah Zarah. Eino mabit? What is it, a joke? How does Hashem not look at it? Ella. Ki ha-hanhaga im Yisrael hi b'bchinas ani havaya b'chesed u'verachamim. The reason is because Hashem, His relationship to us, He relates to us b'bchina of havaya of Yudke Vavke, which is chesed and rachamim. Shabanim atem la'Hashem Elokeichem zehu nitzchias. This title that you are my children, I am your father, you are my son, is eternal b'chol hatanoim v'amatzovim in any situation you are in. The kivin shekach, and therefore but therefore he's not interested in looking. You could have a child that spits in your face, that steals from you, that does anything in the world to you. He's always going to be your child. It's the only relationship in the world that when you have a child, there is a commitment that you cannot break. It's stronger. You have parents who say, I hate my kid. If something happens to them, they cry and they go crazy. And if it would be your business partner or any other relationship in the world, or your neighbor that you had such agmas nefesh from and such grief from, you wouldn't care what happens to them. But your child is your child forever. And that's why Hashem chose the relationship between Him and us to be defined as a parent-child relationship. He could have picked much higher relationship, like two lovers, like Shir HaShirim is all about, two lovers. Much more passion than parents and children, but he wanted to pick something that's unbreakable. And therefore, it's nitzchias, it's eternal, unbreakable no matter what we do. And therefore, because that is the relationship, that's why because I want to redeem you because you are my child. It's time for me to rescue you. I'm pulling you out of jail because I want to save you. And I'll turn over the world for you because you are my child. You did all these bad things. I know that's only because of your pain, which is what the Medrash teaches us. When they heard this, then they believed Taka. Really? I always kind of felt that Hashem creates the world, but he doesn't really care about me. But now you're proving he's going to save me? He's not looking at my sin and he loves me? Now I could believe in such a God. And they really comprehended that Hashem is our God in every situation. In the merit of this belief, our forefathers were redeemed from Mitzrayim, and in the merit of this Amunah, now that we have Asidin Lihigoel, we will be redeemed. The message is that Hashem needs us to know now. Our relationship to Hashem and His care and concern for us is unconditional. No matter how bad we are, we will never lose the title Banim Atem L'Hashem Elokeichem. He will always love us more than heavenly angels, like B'nai B'chai Yisrael, where He taught us that. And the love and the care is there, and He will turn over the world for us, regardless of our behavior. And we need this for our existence. Now, when we have children, it's the same way, and they need this knowledge for their existence. Now let's go further and make it even more practical.